Discussing the animal story.
Back there. I know we did.
Well, you can't get in, but I can get in. You may not like what the check is. I can get in. Start getting. With the World Series back. Mechanical that they call me. This is Tennessee baseball, but not one all year. You mentioned Tennessee baseball. What are
All right, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Rotary Club of Greater Huntsville. We've got a packed meeting today, so we're going to jump right into it, and we're just going to keep going. We're not going to take a break after the beginning part. We've got two speakers today, so first time I've done that in my tenure, so we're going to get them both in. Great group here, good to see everybody, and Bill's got a good song to get us going for the day. Bill?
Jimmy Buffett's signature song, I think we all know this one. Sunday. Every other game. It's a really Mexican. Wasting away in Marie. Turn on my shaking song. Something playing. Step on the front top. That's why he had to put his song back home. Wasting away in Margarita. Touching on my song.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you. Appreciate that. Lead us in the pledge. Rudy?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Tim, are you going to lead the invocations?
Dear Lord, we praise you for this day, and we praise you for this time together. Ask that you have a hand on each and every Rotarian here and their family. Let God direct us in everything we do. Bless us food to the nourishment of our body. In Christ's name I pray.
Amen. All right, go and have a seat, and we're going to jump right into the meeting here.
Is someone here?
No, you are.
Did we get, Todd, you want to come on up when you're ready?
Every day, back would come up. Kick out targets and
Thank you, Chris. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to introduce our guests.
or the incident.
First of all, Robert Barnes from Madison Club. Welcome back again. I told him outside you just need to become a split member of the board. Jackie Sype is here. Jackie, if you would please come up here and introduce your guest so I don't butcher their name.
Welcome, Jackie.
Thank you. Always a blessing to be with you. And thank you for welcoming our visitors who've been here in Huntsville for almost 4 weeks. This is their 4th week. We have 2 young entrepreneurs who were part of the Department of State's Young's Transatlantic Innovation Leaders. So I'd like to ask George Georgevich. In fact, on his ID, it says George. Because I've been calling him Dorje from the day he got here. He is from Serbia. He has been with UAH's Innovation Center for the past 4 weeks. And we also have Vladimir Sanadze, and he is from the country of Georgia. His interest in business is in the agricultural sector, so he has been assigned to Alabama A&M University's agricultural research. So we're thankful to be able to have them join you and meet you today.
Rotarian Sam Lowry, will you introduce your guest, please?
We have Dick Reeves, well, friends and neighbors here. Dick Reeves, who's been involved with developing small businesses, BizTech a while back. And he also was the one that introduced me to Rotary, so that was when I started Rotary. And Dorcas Harris, also a friend and neighbor, and they're married to each other. Well, I sat between them. And Dorcas is, among other things, a former president of the downtown Rotary Club, 2011. So anyway, and also through Zoom, I have my colleague on this project that I'll talk about later, Dwight Leeper. So he's coming in from Maine, so that's wave, Dwight.
Any other guests? If not, welcome.
Thank you, Todd. Appreciate that. Nice to see Todd up here again. It's been a little while. Had fun on his year when he was president. I remember that time. All right, we're going to go through slides real quick with just a couple quick announcements, and we're going to jump right into Sam's presentation, and then we'll finish with Brandy. But our presentations today, Sam Lowry. I pulled that for your presentation, Sam. I hope that was okay. I thought it was awesome you were sharing our banner out there as you're out doing your great project, so we appreciate that. And then Brandy Quick, Executive Director of Digital Landing's here today too. Excited to hear what's going on this summer at Digital Landing. That's gonna be a great presentation. Upcoming presentations next week, and Cliff is fired up about this one. He keeps telling me he's really excited about next week. But Norbert Webley, owner of Now Sports Academy, was on the Jamaica national team and University of North Carolina, and has a sports academy here in town for soccer. And a very dynamic speaker, and Cliff keeps raving about him, so I'm really excited about that. Matt McCutcheon, Speaker of the House, will be here on the 22nd. That should be an awesome presentation. If you haven't heard him speak before, he gives some great insights of the craziness that goes on in politics and very interesting stuff. So great guy. And I think he's retiring now. This is it for him, right? So he's not continuing after this. So maybe we'll get some really goodies out of him since he won't be there anymore to get any clap back on that. And then guys, Founders Day is shaping up to be an awesome event. We are getting a lot of folks that are plussing up on Paul Harris Fellow. Some major donors have stepped up. We've got a number of new Paul Harris Fellow folks, and this is going to be a great day. We're going to have prior Rotary International President Mark Maloney. We have Ken Schubert, Vice Chairman of the Rotary Foundation. We're going to have our current district governor, Harold Lewis, and we're going to have all the other district governors in line here as well. So it'll be a great day. This is time to bring your spouse, bring your family, and really celebrate being a Rotarian and the impact that we have on the world. It'll be a great day. And we're plussing up some really good food here that Redstone Federal Credit Union is helping us with. So excited about that. And then just a reminder, July 6th, a couple days after July 4th, there will be no meeting. I think Jim TV Paul is just slacking off already and canceling the first meeting of his presidency. You know, Jim, come on, man. But yeah, that's right after July 4th, so there'll be no meeting on July 6th. Just FYI on that. Updates, so again, our 100% Paul Harris Club initiative, we are down to 6 people that we need out of 11. So we are well on track. We've got about another week and a half to make that happen, and we're working hard to make that happen. Again, and Will's going to make an announcement here in a minute, but if you've got points that you want to donate to a spouse or to a friend or someone in the community that's deserving for Paul Harris Fellow, we need to get that going pretty quick and get this stuff in to be in time for month end. But it's shaping up to be fantastic, and I think we're going to get there. Again, if you're interested in attending Boiling and Bragging in August, let Jim TV Pod know. We're looking to get in the party bus to go down there and do that. Need to see how many people might attend that. And those of you that are on this year's board or next year's board are all invited to the board meeting next Monday. Next Monday, we have a board meeting here at 3:30. It will also be a Zoom link. And we want to invite the incoming board as well, so we can kind of make a nice transition and hear what's going on now and transition into the new year. And I'll have an invite come out on that today or tomorrow. Will's going to announce a little bit about the Paul Harris Fellow, but is there any other announcements that we need to make that I'm missing? Okay, Will, come on up.
Just a couple of brief things. I have the forms if you wish to honor someone with a Paul Harris Fellowship with points that you have accumulated. Please see me. I have the form, and we'll get it. I think we will cut off either contributions or recognition points as of the next meeting. That'll give Marcia and I time to put it all together and send it in timely. I think that's about it. So just see me if you have any questions of where you are, and or if you do want to use your recognition points to honor something. Thank you.
Thank you, Will. Well, I appreciate all your work bringing this together. It's just going to come out great. All right, with that, Sam, we're going to have you come on up. Sam has been a great addition to our club. Sam, how long have you been a Rotarian?
About 4 years, I think.
Okay, and you joined our club about 2 or 3 years? Yeah, last year. And when he's not in Maine or sailing around the world, we do get him here, and we're excited when you are here. And he's jumped right in and helped us with ramp builds and veteran memorial cleaning and everything. So we're really excited to have you on the team and talk about what you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you. Yep, glad to be here. Can everybody hear me? Back? Okay. Yeah, so this is I gave a presentation last spring on this. I don't know who was there, but so this is a progress report on this project in Senegal. And it is a project with Westchester is the international sponsor. Dwight Leeper is a member of that club, and the Dakar Soleil Rotary Club. In a quick summary, the idea of the project is to provide 5 pumps, deep water pumps, which is key to 5 communities in Senegal. In addition, though, in addition to providing pumps, and the humanitarian aspect of that is to really demonstrate the capability of this pump, which is much better than what they currently use in Africa. And I didn't know where Senegal was before I started this project. So if you're like me, it's on the westernmost point of Africa. In terms of humanitarian, this is what we're talking about. Going from this kind of water source to something called the life pump. And I'll talk a little bit about the life pump But a quick history of, how I got here. I retired from a company that did simulation of pumps. So I had that experience. I read an article in Pumps and Systems magazine, right? Everybody has their magazine. Get a centerfold now. But I read about this pump and I was impressed both by the technology and of course the humanitarian effort that's being done in Malawi. And so with that in mind, I actually went to talk to the company. They are very organized. They have a very strong effort. It's a nonprofit company that designed the pump. They distributed it. They support it. They're out of Columbus, Ohio, but they pretty much were busy with what they had. So floated the idea of could there be another country that we could introduce this pump to? And why is this pump? I'm an engineer, so I apologize for the technical part. But this pump, compared to the pumps in Africa now, goes 3 times deeper. We're talking 150 meters. So if you play football or soccer, think of taking that field and turning it upside down. So obviously important if you ever try to drink out of a Coke bottle with a straw that's too short, you got to have a straw that's long enough to get to the pump, to get to the water. So it's got better lifespan, 5-year maintenance cycle, which is important because these villages are probably not going to do their own maintenance, and it really doesn't require it. They've had pumps going for 8 years now consistently in other parts of Africa. Easier to use. This pump, instead of being a piston pump where you're raising this metal rod up and down, it twirls. So women and children can use it. It's much easier to use. It also, when it fails, something with valves, when it fails, you have no water the next day. This might get a little harder to pump it, but at least you're still going to get some water. So that, I was very impressed with this. Also, the fact that we're building on an existing program. This is not something that we're saying we're going to do, that they are already, they being Design Outreach, have 176 pumps installed in Africa and Haiti. And, they've got 150 meters in Haiti and still going strong if they put that in. But so we can take advantage of, their manuals. They're going to send somebody for training. And the idea that it's going to be a local project, training people in Senegal. So, get the idea that, okay, let's find a country that needs it, went on the internet and it sort of fell in place. I mean, Senegal is stable. They clearly have a need for water. They have strong government programs that they just passed, the Office of Rural Pumps. And so that was how we came to that conclusion. And I feel very good about it. If you look, Senegal is on the border of the Sahara. And this is a hydrological study. It's a little bit old, but it shows that where the water is. There's an aquifer that goes under the country, how deep you'd have to go. And you can see a pump that goes, the other pumps only go 50 meters. This can go deeper than that. So you can reach the water. So, this idea that, all right, we've got a solution looking for a problem kind of thing, that, how does this develop? And I have a longtime friend, Dwight Lincoln, who's on the call here. He's an active Rotarian up in Maine, and we were sitting on the porch and talking about this, and I don't remember exactly how it came about, but the idea to make this a Rotary project. And that's been key. This would not be happening without Rotary. So I put this up because this really shows Rotary connections, which impressed me. I'm talking to Dwight. He's past hi, what were you doing? Regional director? Anyway, but he knows a lot of people in Rotary, and he contacts the former Rotary International Director, Jeff Caderet, who's out in California at the time, he's training the head of West Africa. So that makes that connection that very day. And then we get about a month later, a response from that director, Tareki, who says he recommends the Car Soleil Club as somebody with experience and would be a good contact. So now we've got the contacts that would have been impossible to really make without Rotary. Last but not least, Design Outreach. They are a very impressive organization, both in terms of the work they do and then what they've developed. And so they have an MOU that they're going to support us in terms of training, in terms of providing the pumps at cost. The pumps have already been bought. They're up in Columbus, Ohio. And I invite you to go to their website and see what they do. So kind of the end of the history here, we submitted it in 2020 for COVID. it actually, I think, helped us because we were able through Zoom to go to clubs and solicit, get contacts that we wouldn't have done otherwise because everybody was open to Zoom. So a lot of this development, talking to Dakar, we could develop it before we actually went there. It was approved in 2021. We started going out and soliciting donations, and the project was fully funded as of August 2021. And one of the nice things about it was a collection of funding from clubs, organizations, and also individuals. So a really nice cross-section of people that are invested in this. You see that the cost of this project is about $131,000 US, and we got the matching from Rotary International to make that number. So this is our current organization. I left it in French. Senegal is French. I speak a little high school French, but we also had translators. So we have the Dakar Soleil Club, Westchester. Partners for World Health is an organization that separate organization, but they provide surplus medical supplies. And there's good synergy there. We're going to try to work with them. And the Office des Forages Ruraux, which is translated as the Office of Rural Boreholes. As I said last time, it sounds better in French. And they've been key because we want this to be a government. We want them to choose what they have. Where everything's going to go, they want them to choose who's going to put in the pumps. It really has to be a Senegalese project. So, and then design outreach. So, I don't have time. Okay. So I speak like a northerner when I get up there. So excuse me. So we planned to go last year, but this year, Dwight and I actually included a car this past 2 weeks ago or whenever it was to meet face to face. So we're very excited about that. Traveling in the time of COVID is a real challenge. You're told that you have to have a QR code to get into Senegal. Well, you don't really, but you don't know that till you get there. So, for $200, you take the PCR test in the airport at JFK to make sure because we did not want to be turned back at this point. So, direct flight from JFK to Dakar. Just Dakar is arid. That's your impression. It's a relatively poor country. I looked today, the average income, if Google is correct, is $150 a month US. But you don't get the feel, and you get people that are vendors, you have people soliciting, but it's very industrious. You don't really, I've been to India, you don't get the feeling of oppressive poverty. We're obviously people that were poor, but very vibrant city. This is just out the window. It's great. You've got horses and goats, and again, everybody's, as Dwight pointed out, everybody seems to be doing something. It's very active, and the people are very friendly. And along the ocean, they built these exercise parks, and people in the evening are out there doing push-ups and pull-ups and running and everything. It's a lot of energy in the city. So, and we had. The hosts were marvelous, both the club itself and you see Sabina on the right there. She put up with Dwight and me she and her family a whole week, entertained us, and organized a barbecue the first night, and it really made it quite a trip of a lifetime, really. And so that's club members there enjoying a barbecue on top of her house, and. So the Dakar Soleil Club, they arranged a meeting. The key thing, really objective of this trip was to have a meeting with the Office of Rural Pumps. And they counted us out on Monday. We went to visit them. I was a little nervous, I thought maybe it'd be political. To the contrary, the Director General and the engineer, they listened to what we had to say. They endorsed the project, and they provided the name of 5 communities that receive pumps. Way to the east of Senegal. So, but that's what they chose, and that's their choice. So, zooming in there, it looks green from the air, but you get down there, it's arid enough. After Monday's meeting, we had a meeting with this for the club. Again, very very impressive club. I think if we were looking for a sister club, this might be one to team with. I don't know if that's of interest, but. And you see presenting the flag there. That is the current club president, Astu Babai, on the left there with me. And there again, we went down and visited a school at one point. So there's the current president, Astu, and Badu. He was actually a victim of polio. That's one of his big causes as part of Rotary. I was surprised. I didn't realize that you still had victims of polio in the U.S. I mean, I sort of figured, well, you're eradicating it, but there maybe it's not common. But the car, I forget how old he is, but and they couldn't have been more energetic, whatever. So the office, Rural Pumps, and the club arranged for us to go out and fly out to across the country in a small plane. This is the husband of our host, Isa. And so we flew over there. That's white in the front seat. I'm in the back seat with surplus gas behind me because they have to take the gas that they're going to use to return. I'm looking over at aviation fuel, but see a big airport there. They knew we were coming. They had the mayor, regional mayor met us, the mayor of the city met us, and then the local engineer. And that was key because he's very knowledgeable. He's going to be our key in putting pumps out in that region. The village to me was picturesque. I mean, I felt like go down or whatever. I wanted to stay there. You know, it's such a picturesque village. But the need for a pump was evident. See the current well. Some organization came in, put a magnificent structure, big cement well, but you look down at the bottom and there's just maybe that much water. And so what they have to do is there are 5 communities there that they have to walk 3 miles to get to the river and bring water back. It's steep terrain. They say there are crocodiles. The river is used by other wildlife, so it's very polluted. I made the mistake of taking a drink of something they offered me, and the guy was, don't do that. I'm still here though. So, and the engineer said there is potable water at 70 meters. And that's well within the sweet spot of. And we happened on this day coming of age ceremony. I joked that Dwight and I are now have become men because we were invited to join us. I love the trees here, and we joined the ceremony, and then several of the women came up and shook our hands like we had already put in a pump. I mean, they were so grateful that we were going to do the project. So, so we are looking at, I really think the organization is there in place. Look at and aim for November to put the first pump in. There are a lot of pieces that have to fall in place. We have to find who's going to drill, who's going to ship and that sort of thing. But I'm very confident that, really hope that come next November, we can show you some water flowing. So that's the status. Good job. Awesome. Thank you.
Add to our club, so thank you for that. Sam, thank you very much, Ron. Appreciate it. That's awesome. Thanks for.
Yes.
Almond trees, it's a magical one.
Another fantastic addition to our club. Sam, thank you so much. We've been really blessed past couple of years getting some great people in this club. They're doing amazing things, and this is a great example of that. So, and Sam, anything we can do to help, make sure you let us know, okay? Cliff, you want to come introduce speaker number 2?
Okay, today, gang, we have fellow Rotarians, personal friend that I knew. 1996 was the first time that Brandy and I found each other. She was in I was the chief of staff out there at the Arsenal, and she was running the catering and events for down at the Von Braun Center. And so after that, every soldier show, everybody's been to those, Armed Forces Week, and we kept going on and on and on and on. But in 2016, they saw fit to let her leave the Von Braun Center, and she is now down there at Ditto Landing and doing a real bang-up job. and really looking over that thing. So I'm really excited to have her come to talk to us, to tell you what's in the future and what's been happening out there in Ditto Landing. So Brandon, come on up.
For inviting me, Charles, thank you for the email. As Cliff said, I was 19 years in at the Von Braun Center, and I saw a job posting come out from the mayor, and it was just a random thing, and I started reading it, and I thought, wow. And I drove down to Ditto and looked at everything and was just amazed at the opportunity that was available, that the city and the county were not taking care of. So, whoops, this way, right? So we ended up, I interviewed, they decided to hire me, and that part is history. So now I work for the Huntsville, Madison County Marina and Port Authority. I don't know who came up with that name. I wish they could have made it longer. But you're right. It was established in 1971. We have 5 board members. 2 are appointed by the city, 2 appointed by the county, and 1 is an alternating appointment. Let me tell you who those board members are. Our board president is Keith Mandel. Keith Mandel is with the OMI. He's a geotech engineer. Our vice president is Jeff Sanders. Jeff is a boater with us, and he's also a rocket scientist. Our secretary treasurer is David Mathis. You probably know David. David's our finance guy. Then we have Brian Dodson, who was with Phoenix, excuse me. And then our latest board member is Jason Puckett, who's with Toyota. So we have 5 board members. We meet monthly. You can come down. It's real exciting. There's our mission. We established that when I came to work at Ditto. The Ditto Landing team welcomes our guests to a safe, clean, family-friendly recreational facility with our commitment to friendly and quality services. If it doesn't do that, we don't do that. So that's our test. Each time somebody comes to us with a new fancy idea, then that's what we go back to. Pull that out. If it doesn't meet these requirements, then we don't do it. If you want to talk about our facilities, we have 70 camp spaces now. We just opened 40 more. We do have trees planted. We're waiting on Mother Nature to grow those. We planted 150 trees back in February. Actually 160 and 150 of our friends came down and did that for us. We have 320 dry storage spaces. So that big building here holds all of those boats. We have a $250,000 forklift that will put it in the water for you. 175 wet slips, 500 acres of property. And then East Harbor, which is down upriver for us, has 71 dry storage spaces and 62 acres of property within. Again, we had recently opened the 40 spaces, and those are essentially full all the time. We were the first location to do the big picture plan that the city has done in several venues and locations around the city. But we were first, and we did that in 2015. That was before I got there. And these were the goals that came about for our master plan. Maintain and enhance the natural settings and views. We have the best view of the sunset in Huntsville. So you don't have to have a filter. You can bring your flip phone and take a picture of it, and it looks like you're a professional photographer. Maintain and enhance the existing recreational program, which was camping and boat storage and rowing, all of those, and then of course trails. Add a program that would be consistent with the recreational nature of the area. So don't do something that is a complete change from what we've been doing all along. Improve access to the facility for people within Huntsville, Madison County, North Alabama. We want to be a regional destination. Be financially viable, pretty important to be able to pay the bills along the way. And we do with our operating funds. So all of our expenses, with the exception of capital plans, all of those operating expenses day to day are paid for with the funds that we generate. And use Ditto's inherent strengths to create a destination throughout the Southeast. Don't try to make Ditto Landing something it's not. So we go back and look at that mission and we talk about that. This was the master plan that came out. Pretty soon you're going to see some updates to that master plan. We're going through that process now, and we're taking a look at things that either didn't work or were not viable. So I'm just gonna kind of go through that really quickly. This ring of campgrounds is already built. That's the 40 that I talked about. The road kind of changed a little bit, but we do have the boulevard entrance there. The dry dock and proposed harbor expansion is not gonna work unless we blow some stuff up, which sounds fun, but, you know, we have to get a lot of permissions to do that. If they let me push the button, I might try it. We have greenways. This greenway is already here. We're working with the city to put in a greenway that goes up that way. We'll talk about that a little more in just a few minutes. When we expand these campsites, we'll have 180 campsites. We want to have a swimming area. That's one of the things that's in our future plans. Restaurant would not go here. Most likely a restaurant would go here at the state docks. That's because that doesn't flood. So flood is our 5-letter F word. We'll talk about that in a little bit, so I can let you know how we handle that. If you have questions about it, I can do that too. Primitive camping, maybe not. Maybe this area becomes a disc golf course and some mountain bike trails. That's something that we're looking at, adding an event facility. Gets me pretty excited because I come from that world. So that would be awesome. And so that's our current master plan, but again, you'll see some changes coming up in the next few months. These are things that we have gotten done. I hear a lot of people say, well, what are you doing down there? I don't see any changes. Well, there was a lot of things that had to be fixed, had to be redone, a lot of infrastructure. Infrastructure is not fun. But if you don't have infrastructure, it's really not fun. So in our established campground, we renovated the bathhouse. We did that with money from the county. We implemented an access control system for that bathhouse. We are doing landscaping now, and our future plans are to do some paving and add other amenities like the swimming area. Oh, move you over there. Our new campground, we've done the grading, we've done the backfilling, we've done the paving, we've done the signage. We finished the striping since I did this slide, and street lights are ongoing. We put in sewer. Our old campground doesn't have sewer, new campground does. So it's kind of, are you team sewer or are you team trees? I am team sewer. We put in obviously electric, water, planted the trees, planted the grass. We have a satellite office that will check people in when we're ready for that. We want to add a propane filling station and other amenities like swimming. This is how our campground revenue has been affected since we went through and added the new campground. So a few things. There's our little F word again. See how it affects us each time? Makes for a bad day. This is when we opened our new campground, huge site. Camp Spot is when we added online reservation system. So, you know, you can see just the predictable spikes in it, and then you see that we've grown from there. If I went out to June, which I should have, you can see another upswing. In the marina itself, so we've got structural repairs on the docks that needed to be made. We've added Wi-Fi. We've replaced a cooler, which has beer in it. In our store, we've added new handrails. We've replaced grinder pumps. We've sealed fuel tanks, so we don't have to, when we flood, we don't have to have those pumped out each time, which was about a $2,500 expense every time we flooded. We've added a recurring payment system, so people don't have to think about when they pay us. Their money just comes to us each month. We've replaced gangways, we're replacing dock lighting, and then those are our future plans. A new entry sign, new fuel pumps, update our accounting system, add another dock, dredge the harbor, paint the docks, pave, all that fun stuff. Didn't know all that was gonna be part of the job when I came down there, but I'm pretty excited that we have all these opportunities. In our dry storage area, bought that $250,000 forklift that we've almost paid for. We repaired the forklift ramp because our forklift was really heavy and was damaging the ramp. We've added LED lighting, so we don't have to, we get rid of the lights that are very inefficient. We've added backup heating. We're having to repair another forklift platform, and we want to expand the rack so we can take in taller boats. Since the dry stack was built, that's been our #1 request. People don't have just the little flat boats anymore. We've got boats with towers on them. We got boats with ski racks on them, and they don't fit. we've been able to do that with a lot of partnerships. So FEMA has helped us, when we flooded particularly badly. The county and the city have all been super helpful for us. They support us not just in capital funds, but they support us when we call them and say, hey, we flooded, we need your help cleaning up. Or, hey, we need to remove a boat that has been left behind. We've got some trees that have fallen. We need you to come help remove those. Lots of support there. So that again is our master plan. When I came to work there, well, in 2017, the county passed on the East Harbor to us. That's what we call it. It was the Whitesburg Boat Complex. That area is still under renovation. We've got some exciting things happening there. We've got a group called the Kayak and Bass Fishing Group. To be honest with you, I didn't know that was a thing, but it is truly a thing. And they're wanting to make Huntsville their headquarters. So we're excited to announce that. You're just getting the new stuff. Don't tell anyone. We also got land water conservation funds to be able to do some of these renovations, including adding some docks for smaller boats, relocating the entryway here, replacing the ramp there. Those are a lot of the projects that we have upcoming, and we're helping the land water conservation fund is helping us pay for those. So we got our TVA approval for those projects. That's quite a challenge. We've cleared some of the boathouses. We've got a few more to go. We've added fencing, gating, cameras, and I don't know why the forklift platform's on there. That's supposed to be the launch ramp is ongoing. And again, that's a land water conservation fund grant. It's a 50-50 match, so they're giving us $230,000. We're putting $230,000 in. We received over 30 letters of support from the community, and literally we asked for that 2 weeks out, and they just came flooding in. So that's a $460 total project value. Again, dredge the harbor, that's already been done. Reactivate the launch ramp, add new docks, new restrooms, and a safer entrance. Clear up the park. Okay, Greenway. So we have the Greenway that goes along the Tennessee River. It goes from Ditto Landing to East Harbor. Now we want to go across Aldridge Creek, underneath the parkway, all the way over to the Redstone fence, and then it won't come this way. It'll go north from there to connect to the Hayes Farm and connect to LG's Walk there, come around, get to Weatherly Road, come down Aldridge Creek, then you've got a 13-mile circle around South Huntsville. Pretty exciting stuff. The city is working on continuing that Greenway. They budgeted money for it. And let me tell you about partnerships. So I've told you that the city and the county are super helpful. FEMA has been helpful. Just to do this Greenway, we had Ditto Landing, we had TVA, we had ALDOT, we had the city of Huntsville, we also had the county help us. All that had to come together. All those groups had to agree on doing that Greenway. And they did. The city even put $50,000 their money where their mouth was. So we're excited about that. The city gave us this bridge. It's given a bridge.
It's a deal.
So about $25,000 later, we've repaired that bridge. It's safe for the public. It's safe for people to walk across, bike across, or emergency vehicles to go across it. So I'm pretty happy about that bridge. We just have to carry on with the green one. We've done cleanups. Turner Founders Day, they did a huge cleanup for us, and they obviously, these are the befores at the top, afters at the bottom. Cleanup is a lot for us. People litter a lot, and so we just have to continually do that. So anybody that wants to have their company, their organization wants to have a volunteer cleanup day, I'm in. Just call me. So the Tennessee River Greenway, we got the TVA approval. We repaired the bridge. We've working on installing the West Greenway, and then we're also going to add a utilities road. That's on the Ditto Landing Greenway side. We also were donated 200 acres. This is the Wisdom property. It's on the opposite side, on the Morgan County side of the river. And it's all of this property here. which includes this great lake in the middle of it. At some point, when we get all these other projects wrapped up, we want to do a non-motorized watercraft lake over there. The kayak bass fishing people are super excited about that lake as well. You'll see a lot of footage on the Outdoor Channel, and that'll be where it's coming from. We're part of the Tennessee River Line. The Tennessee River Line is an overall initiative to go from Knoxville, Tennessee, follow the Tennessee River all the way to Paducah, Kentucky. And we are smack dab in the middle of the Tennessee River. I don't know if y'all know that. We are literally the midpoint of the Tennessee River. So we are part of the Tennessee River Line. We are going to be a designated Tennessee River town, and they're doing a community planning initiative, which you'll hear about through the news, and I'll send you an invitation to look at other ways for Ditto Landing to interact with the river and bring the community towards the river and engage with the river. We do cleanup days. Did I mention cleanup days? We had one on May 7th. We had a ton of people out, and the weather was terrible, but we had over 100 people out to clean up. They picked up 120 bags of trash. They helped us add some rubber rail. They helped us replace some boards on our docks. It was just amazing. They helped us stripe paint parking spaces. I mean, they were just all over it. So we appreciate that. That was done through the Southeast YMCA and with Jenny Robinson as our city council member supporting it as well. These are other events that we do. So we don't just camp and we don't just boat and we don't just spend time on the trails. We also build events throughout the year. So during the spring and fall, we build slip and slides. You don't want them in your yard, so we'll put them in ours. So we build these slip and slides. Actually, that was an earlier picture. That was the first year we did that. That's my cousin right there. She's about 7 now. We actually recycled billboard vinyl now. So Lamar gives us the billboard vinyl that nobody wants anymore. We flip it upside down. We keep it going from going to the landfill. Put a lot of baby shampoo on that and a little bit of water, and you got some. We do reeling and smoking. That's a barbecue competition. We're actually having that this weekend. We do that once a year. We have about 25 teams that participate in that. They come out, they camp with us, they make everything smell wonderful, and then they tell you that it's not for everybody to eat. So. June 25th, we have our Independence Day celebration. Who wants to ask me why we don't do that on the 4th of July? Well, we don't, because our boaters are out there on the 4th of July on the river. They're all out there. We don't want to impact what they do or impact their safety. So we do our Independence Day celebration on the Saturday, the last Saturday in June. It's free to the public. We have live music, we have fireworks, we have food trucks. Just come on down. So put that on your calendar, please, June 25th. The music will be Good Vibe Tribe and Jedi will be there this year. We also get fit. We have a lot of triathlons. We have a lot of 5Ks. These are just some of them that we've hosted over the year. We have a car show. Car show person. You're a car show person. Cliff loves car shows. We'll do that on November 5th. We're kind of the last one of the season. We have live music. Last year, we had 123 cars. 1, 2, 3. 123 cars. This year, we're going to have more than that. These are our community partners. Now, let me tell you about something new. We're doing a signature South Huntsville Christmas event. It'll run through the whole month of December. We are going to have, now think back, because a lot of y'all have been in Huntsville all your lives. So do you remember on Holmes Avenue where they had the 4x8 Christmas card plywood things that they set up? We're going to do that along the greenway. So for $200, we'll provide you with plywood. You know how much plywood costs. Might be a great deal. And then you decorate it and we put it up and everybody can walk along the greenway and enjoy it. Also, we're going to build a model train village.
All right.
How cool is that? And it'll be open, it'll be free. We're working with the Rocket City Model Train Club. Think about when Sutherland's had theirs. We're going to do that. So come down for that. I'm pretty excited about that. Also means I don't have to set up my Christmas village. I just get somebody else to do it at work. Think Hallmark Christmas tree lawn. If you want to buy a live Christmas tree, please buy it from us. We're going to, Phil Riddick and I are going on Thursday, tomorrow, to look at Christmas trees. We're going to Albertville to a Christmas tree farm, and we're going to pick out Christmas trees. So that's another part of that activity. Again, Christmas card lane, come down for that. Go ahead and let me know. You can go to our website if you want to be some of the first people to purchase your Christmas card. In addition to that, we're going to have fireworks on the night. We're probably going to do some Christmas movies, all kinds of stuff. A dog walk down Christmas card lane. Probably have some drive-through nights for those that aren't able to walk the mile down Christmas card lane. So please, please, please think of us when you're thinking of your Christmas traditions, and also let me know if you're interested in Christmas.
When's Christmas card lane scheduled to open?
It'll open the week before Thanksgiving. It'll stay open till the first weekend in January. You have plenty of time to come down and enjoy this.
No.
How can you help? We need you to volunteer. We need you to advocate, and we need you to participate. So all these events that we're talking about, we need you to come down. We need your family to come down. If you're able to sponsor a portion of it, we would love that. But when people ask what's going on at Ditto Landing, share this information with them. I can't talk to everybody, but I can talk to you guys, and you guys can share the information with them. Are there any questions for me? Yes, sir.
First comment. I came through there on my boat last summer,
Yes.
and I had been there probably 10 years before, and it was bad. But last summer, I've never seen such a piece of place. That was it was very well run, very well done. So that's
Thank you.
awesome.
Thank you very much.
There's that, and you just said they gave you the land across the river,
Mhm.
and there's that facility that over there.
Yes,
What
they
is
didn't
that?
give us that.
They didn't give you that.
No. Dr. Wisda donated that property to us, and he still owns that facility. It's an event facility. So weddings, class reunions, that kind of thing. We do those at our pavilion as well. We have a beer and wine license. We have that stuff. I'm not sure if they do or not, but that's what they're doing up there. And it's super exciting, and we appreciate, them having stuff along the river. So
And it's in the city of Huntsville and in Morgan County.
correct. Any other? Surely y'all have more questions than that. I didn't answer everything.
Bradley, how many boats can you accommodate in your boat slips total?
Total 180, well, that was up there, 180 or so in the wet slips and 300 in dry storage. And by the way, our wet slips are full, so we have a waiting list on those. And our dry storage, a lot of it's full unless you have like a fishing. So we have a waiting list on all of our lower racks. Yes, sir.
I might have missed it, but are you gonna have part of your Christmas activities, a boat parade, Christmas parade, like daycare?
Thank you for mentioning that. The answer is no. But we're gonna do a deck the docks. So all along where our store is, all of those docks, we're gonna invite our boaters over to decorate, have their boats decorated, and people can walk on there. It's much safer that way, and we can arrange that around the weather. We'll have some food trucks over there. Lots of excitement there. Sorry.
I just wonder how much of that area floods. The pavilion doesn't.
The pavilion doesn't, the state docks doesn't. The worst flood that we have, and it was one of the worst in history, was 2019. Our offices were floating above about 12 feet of water. So, interesting story. I left the BBC. I'm all fired up. Everything's gonna go great. I go down there 2 weeks in and we flood. I was like, how am I going to get to work? What in the world? And all the guys are like, well, you don't have to worry about it. We just work remotely. We'll come down here and check on things. Don't worry about it. I was like, no, not 2 weeks in. No, y'all don't know me. So they had to, that time we weren't flooded that bad. So they had to put a gangway from like the back of the truck over to the walkway. And they helped me up there and I went tootling across. I didn't know that was not a bad flood. The bad floods, they kayak over, get our workboat, go back over to land. I drive down the Greenway and hop on a boat and they carry me over. Everything floats. That's why we flood. Gunnersville, their docks don't flood, right? So they can't take as much water as we do. So we get all that water And then we spend a lot of time cleaning it up. But now we've made some changes so that we can work through that a little bit better. We still can't help it. It still is gonna happen. It's just part of it. Yes, ma'am.
There's a question online
Oh, okay. I don't know how
about
to do that.
horseback riding.
Horseback
Jennifer?
Question online, go down to chat.
Oh, yes. Hi, how are you, Brandy? I was just wondering, is there any space for dedicated horseback riding or trail riding or like a bridle path in your neck of the woods?
Currently, there is not. However, when we talk about the space across the river, that's something that we would want to have some people give us some advice on that space.
Well, I would love to give you some advice because horseback riding equestrians contribute a lot of, provide a lot of economic growth and development and impact to Huntsville, Madison County.
My contact information to you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks.
And for regular day, reason it's $5.99 is because we can't go above $6.
Why can't you go above 6?
It's it's because our dials on our phones. Normally our profit margin. Keep in mind, it's very expensive for us to deal with gas, and we're non-ethanol, high octane on the river. Get your gas now, because when I figure out how to make it go over $6. What other questions? Okay.
Thank you, Brandy. That was great. I mentioned too, I got a boat recently and I love taking it out of there. It's a great spot. That river is so beautiful, cruising up and down that river. We've got a couple minutes left. Were there any questions for Sam? I'm sure Sam would be willing to entertain a question or two if anyone had it. Joe?
So, I know you're going down real deep. On this area, if you go down real deep, they get myself and John. Y'all do that?
I mean, they are gonna have a hydrologist look at it. I don't know. It's kind of outside of my, my knowledge of the project is the capabilities of the pump. The question of requirements for the borehole, I just started looking at that. Hopefully, I mean, I certainly hope that the Office of Rural Pumps has that kind of knowledge, but it's not simple. I mean, they put the hole in, but you've got to put in screening and gravel, and you can't just dig a hole and drop the pump in. So it's a good question, yeah. Or hit oil and then we.
Other than the pump, is there other equipment that has to come from outside the country? The pipe that goes all the way down, for instance. Or do they have local supplies?
Well, in the pump itself comes with its own casing, which is stainless steel. But you're right, their casing may not be the right word. There's a shell around where the water's coming up, but outside of that, you have to have a casing. We did put a budget in there for local materials, and they have put in other wells. They put in the Aphrodite and the Mark II, which go down to 50 feet. So they should have the materials and gravel and that sort of thing. What's going to be interesting is getting it to the site, because the road that was built by the village itself, and I thought we were going to take out an oil pan getting up there. I mean, it's just as rough as it could be.
Just from there?
That's wherever they have wherever the drillers are in that region, they're going to have to get up there. It's not going to be an easy thing. So.
They chose it.
Rudy?
Question?
Yes, sir. I've got a question. You mentioned several locations throughout the world that Life Compassing is supporting, and one of them was Haiti. Is the Dominican Republic being supported as well?
I don't believe so. I mean, all those pumps were put in by Design Outreach, which is a faith-based nonprofit. and they are operating in, I have to look on the chart, about 13 different countries. A lot of times I think they're working with a primarily Christian organization that says, we want to put a pump in, we're going to fund it.
And that leads to my second question. Friend of mine, retired officer, Army officer, who was a pastor here in town also, worked with the city council in many communities for supporting the community with needs. She went to the Dominican Republic in December and to retire there. And as I went to her farewell, I said, consider the Rotary Club once you get there. She was here last month, and she said she joined the Rotary Club. And I said, how is it going? It's great, community, but one of the things that they need is water. Water. So that was the reason for my question, and I'd like to at least provide information to her on this life.
One of the things, this is the first project like this I've been involved with. It's not open-ended in the sense that, we're not going to keep going out and asking for funds for more pumps in Senegal. We hope that they will, once they see the value of this pump, and they do get funding from the World Bank that they will go ahead and then we can look at another location as a Rotary Club, or your friend could go talk to Design Outreach. These pumps are not, they're $10,000 a pump just for the hardware. That's 100 meters.
She was asking the question.
Yeah. So having said that, if somebody came and saw this project and said, we really want to buy a 6 pump, we're not going to say, we would facilitate that. I assume, the structure would be there and but that's not really, again, it's the idea of introducing the capability, making them aware that there's really a better solution, because the statistic is that 1 out of 4 pumps it gets put in now fails within 4 years. So people, they put in the pumps and they fail, or they can't, they also drill and they don't get water at 50 meters. They have to go give up, or like that well that's in the village where we live. So yeah.
All right, we're going to end with that. If you guys want to stand for the 4-way test, I want to thank both our speakers today. You guys did a fabulous job, and thank you for sharing time today. We hopefully made that work well for everybody. All right, as Rotarians, of all the things we think, say, or do, first,
this is the truth.
Second,
Is fair to all concerned.
Third,
Will build better friendships.
And fourth,
Will be beneficial to all concerned.
Thank you for being here today, and thank you for being Rotarians. Have a great day.
Tell me what
It is Madeline.